Hello, welcome to the chemistry course. In today's class, I am going to discuss on mutarotation of glucose and glucosidone formation. Let's start with mutarotation of glucose. It is an optical property of glucose, and we know that glucose exists in two isomeric form, and the middle one is open chain form D-glucose, and once it is undergoing hemiacetal formation, cyclic hemiacetal formation, and which will show two isomeric form alpha D glucose, beta D glucose. These are in equilibrium with open chain. The percentage may be differ, but these are present in dynamic equilibrium. Then what is actually mutarotation or mutarotation of glucose? Glucose is an optically active compound, and which is exist in the either alpha D glucose or beta D glucose, and the percentage of open chain is very less. If I take any of the substance, either alpha D glucose or beta D glucose, which are different, and these is having different optical activity data. If I take a glucose, any one form, if I dissolve it in water, a solution of glucose in water undergoes a gradual change in its initial specific rotation till a constant specific rotation is achieved. This phenomenon of change in specific rotation is called mutarotation. It means if we are taking either alpha D glucose or beta D glucose, which is having a specific rotation, once we dissolve it in the specific rotation, it is gradually changes, and after some time it will form a constant specific rotation, and this phenomenon is called as specific rotation of glucose. Let's take its values, and I have mentioned here this is for alpha D glucose. If we take a pure alpha D glucose which is having plus 112 degrees, means when we are measuring the specific rotation, alpha D glucose rotates plane of the polarized light into right side direction with angle of 112 degrees. Similarly, beta D glucose, which is having specific rotation plus 19 degrees, which rotates plane of the polarized light into 90 degrees. So which is having, both are having different specific rotation. Alpha is little bit higher value 112 degrees, but when it comes to beta, which is having 19 degrees. If I am taking a alpha D glucose and I am dissolving it in water, what happens here? Alpha D glucose, the specific rotation is 112. If I dissolve it in water, slowly this specific rotation changes, and finally it will show a constant specific rotation. And how much it will show? Plus 52.7 degrees. Similarly, if we take beta D glucose, beta D glucose is initially 19 degrees. If I dissolve it in water and if we record a specific rotation, slowly this value increases to plus 52.7. So whether we are taking alpha D glucose or beta D glucose, the specific rotation is changing, and finally it get a constant. This phenomena we call it as mutarotation of glucose. The specific rotation of alpha D glucose decreases from 112 to 52.7, and beta D glucose case it increases from 19 to 52.7, and this phenomena we call it as mutarotation of glucose. So why we are observing mutarotation in the glucose case? See, this is occurs because of slow interconversion of one form to another form via open chain form, and this process will happen until it is established a dynamic equilibrium. For example, alpha D glucose case, if you are taking pure alpha D glucose, the specific rotation is 112. Once we dissolve, this cyclic ring is opens, it is converted into D glucose, and D glucose is, again it is converted into beta D glucose. So there is a mixture of product which is formed, and due to this the optical rotation decreases. Similarly, beta D glucose which is having a specific rotation is 19 degrees. If we dissolve, again in this case also cyclic ring is opened, it is converted into open chain structure, open chain, again it is converted into alpha D glucose. These three forms are with equilibrium with each other via open chain D glucose, and because of this beta D glucose it is increases. When we look at the concentration of these species at dynamic equilibrium is 36% of alpha D glucose is present at dynamic equilibrium, and the majority is present beta D glucose which is having 64%, and very negligible amount of open chain structure exists in the solution 0.014. So because of this the equilibrium optical rotation whatever we are observing is 52.7. So this is about the mutarotation of D glucose. Let's move on to other topic, osazone formation with the glucose. Glucagon reacts with excess of phenylhydrazine. Here the minimum moles is required is 3 moles of phenylhydrazine. That's why we are writing excess. Means glucose is 1 mole, the phenylhydrazine required minimum 3 moles. That is the condition to form osazone. So glucagon reacts with excess of phenylhydrazine results formation of osazone, and here our starting material is glucose, the product we call it as glucosazone. Let's see step by step how it is forming glucose to glucosazone. Mechanism of glucosazone. In first step, glucose reacts with first mole of phenylhydrazine, and here it is a condensation reaction. Aldehyde group, carbonyl group, and H2 from phenylhydrazine will leave as a eliminated as a water molecule which will form phenylhydrazone. This is the first step of reaction. After forming phenylhydrazone, which undergo rearrangement. In the second step, after forming phenylhydrazone, there is a rearrangement which is involved in this process. So here this is the first carbon, second carbon which is having hydroxyl and one hydrogen. This hydrogen which is involved in the rearrangement, it give bonded pair of electrons to carbon carbon. As a result, carbon carbon which will form double bond, and these electrons are polarized to high electronegative atom nitrogen side. Then this hydrogen is migrated on nitrogen which will form this. This rearrangement we call it as Amadori rearrangement. So after forming this rearrangement, and it is a enol form. This hydrogen will give electrons to this side and this is migrated, and a molecule of pH here NH and this hydrogen total NH2. Aniline is eliminated, which will form imine bond here, and second position, which is important, CHO group is converted into oxidized and it is converted into keto group. In next step, the newly formed keto group reacts with second mole of phenyl hydrazine. Again it is a condensation reaction, water is eliminated, minus H2O, and this nitrogen is attached to this carbon, which will form a hydrogen derivative. In next step, third molecule of phenyl hydrazine reacts with first carbon and it is converted into glucosazone. So third mole of phenyl hydrazine reacts with first carbon and this bond is polarized to here. So as a result of this, NH become NH2 and nitrogen is attacking at this carbon. After that, NH2, which is leave as a ammonia by taking hydrogen from phenyl hydrazine, and which is converted into glucosazone. In this fashion, glucose is converted into glucosazone. So total 1 mole of glucose reacts with 3 moles of phenyl hydrazine, converted into glucosazone. And here the reaction mainly takes place at C1 carbon and C2 carbon. So 2 moles of phenyl hydrazine is attached at first carbon and second carbon, and 1 mole is converted into aniline in the process. So this is about the glucosazone formation.